feels like a whack-a-mole, it might not be because you're doing it wrong. It might be because the pattern is not the problem. I mean, if you've ever said to yourself, I know better. I know better. Why do I keep doing this? Then this talk is for you. Because the pattern beneath the pattern is really smart. It's smarter than you think. Welcome to Walking the Path. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here. And I'm grateful to be at a place like Rhythmia, Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. You know, people come to places like Rhythmia because they keep repeating the same pattern. You know, they say things like, I attract the same relationships. I sabotage myself. I can't seem to change, you know, and we think that the problem is the pattern. But the real work begins when we start to ask different questions, like what is the pattern trying to protect? And what did it once serve? You know, those are actually the really important questions. And, you know, patterns are not the enemy. This is like, we have to observe the pattern, but I want to normalize the ego. Right? The ego is our amigo. The ego is not a bad thing. And the nervous system and the ego kind of go together. And patterns are actually intelligent responses to earlier conditions. That's really important. Patterns are intelligent responses to earlier conditions. These conditions were created in moments where safety or belonging or enoughness or love felt uncertain. And your nervous system isn't broken. It actually adapted brilliantly. It was a really smart adaptation at the level of a 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old. And so what I want to really bring forward is the pattern isn't the problem. There's a pattern beneath the pattern, you know, and this is why fighting the pattern doesn't work, right? Trying to like strong arm the pattern. You cannot bully intelligence into healing. And it was an intelligence. So just acknowledge yourself. Acknowledge yourself that the pattern that you're repeating right now was an intelligent adaptation. And you can't beat it up because it was smart at the time. Now we have a different way to approach it, right? We don't approach it with force and pressure. Because the pattern beneath the pattern, right? There's something that the surface pattern, right? There's a surface pattern that we all do, whether it's overgiving or people pleasing or avoidance or control or addiction or self-doubt or feeling left behind or envy or jealousy or whatever it is. We all have a pattern, a surface pattern, right? I'm avoidant or hyper successful or hyper independent, right? Those are patterns. But there's beneath that, this is the important part. Beneath that is usually a belief, a simpler belief like I'm not safe, I'm not enough, I don't belong, I'm not lovable, I have to earn love, I have to prove myself, I have to stay alert. Those are the patterns beneath. Those are the beliefs, the belief beneath the pattern. And so, you know, at Rhythmia, and in the work that I do, okay, Charlene says I get angry easily. That's totally a pattern, right? Anger is an adaptation. First of all, it's not a bad thing. Anger is not a bad thing. There's appropriate times. And your feelings are valid. No matter what, your feelings are your feelings and they're valid because you're feeling them. Now, we can look at that pattern of anger and see what's underneath it, right? This is the deeper spiritual work. We don't want to fix your behavior. We're not here to fix the anger, but we're here to see the belief that no longer fits the present. There's a belief inside that anger that's like, if I don't do that, I'm going to get walked on. What is it? What can you tell me what it is, Charlene? Is it, someone's going to take advantage of me? I'm going to get walked on. I'm not going to be seen. I'm not going to be heard. What is the belief underneath that anger? Because it's seeing that belief that no longer fits the present moment. And that's really what we do, right? We sort of time travel back, like something's happening in the present time and it triggers us. But it's typically not about the present moment, although, you know, it's not that the present moment is good or bad. It's just what it is. Now, if I can take a moment and see what is this what age is this associated with? Charlene says, I'm not going to be heard and my feelings are not valid. Okay, that's so good. All right, so the feeling is I get angry, and I get angry because I don't feel like my feelings are valid and are not going to be heard. Now, Charlene, can you recall a moment when you got angry recently, easily, and you felt that way? Now, take all the words off it. I want you to just feel it. Like, take a moment, take a breath, take a centering breath. Recall a moment, a situation where something came up and you felt that way. And now, close your eyes if you can and feel this in the body. What does it feel like in the body? Where is it in your body? Is it a tight chest? Is it a short breath? Is it a contraction of the muscles? Is it a clenching of the jaw? Where is it in your body? Feel it in your body. And then ask that part of your body, what age is this associated with? And let me know what the answer is. This is going to be really good. This is what we do at Rhythmia. This is what I do in my private practice. I see people all the time for integration and just spiritual counseling in general. And so, you know, the miracle is not fixing the behavior. The miracle is seeing that the belief no longer fits the present moment. And last night in the spiritual recalibration circle, no one was trying to heal. No one was forcing insight. And yet clarity arrived because safety was present. When the body feels safe, this is super important. When the body feels safe, truth can reveal itself. Okay, Charlene just said in response to where does she feel it? She feels it in her chest and her throat. And it's associated with age 8. Okay, what happened at age 8? You know, this is what we want to look and see. You're doing so good, Charlene. Like, you're really awesome. You're like getting the answers. So here's the process. She grew up in a very unsafe home, and as a child, she had to stay silent. So what we would want to do in a deeper session is to go back to those moments and ask your emotional body. Like, if you can go back to that, it sounds like maybe there's one situation or maybe there's a theme, Charlene. Maybe there's a theme that kind of represents that. Like, maybe it wasn't just one situation, but a whole series of events in life. And so then we want to work with your emotional body. We want to work with your emotional body and ask the emotional body what it needs to feel safe and free from this story. And then we'll create a mantra. We'll create a mantra that helps you use the mental body to address the emotional body and kind of bring it back into alignment. Because here's the other really important part about this for everybody is we don't want that anger to shut up. We don't want that part of you to never speak again. We want that part of you to have a voice. We don't want to do to it what happened to you as a child. You don't want to perpetrate the same thing. However, we don't want it running the show. So we want to bring it in. This is called shadow work. We want to bring it in and allow it to have a voice. But now, once I'm observing it, right now I'm in the seat of my soul. And I get to observe and hear what that angry part has to say. And then I get to choose, is this an appropriate time to be angry? Because sometimes it is an appropriate time to be angry. Or is this just an old trigger, an old pattern of me not feeling heard? Am I heard now? You can use your mantra. The mantra will replace that feeling. The more that you choose, this is true sovereignty. In the moment when you notice anger flaring up and you choose your mantra, this is how you each time you choose, you're becoming more sovereign. Each time you choose, you're instilling a new neural pathway. Each time you choose, you're deepening the connection to that way of being and lessening the connection to an old way of being. Now, again, we don't want that anger to go away completely. We want it to have a voice. We just don't want it running the show anymore. So, and Charlene, if you want to reach out to me directly, send me a DM and we can go further into this. But here, I want to connect the dots, right? Miracles happen because people stop fighting themselves. And miracles happen when the environment is regulated and the nervous system can can finally exhale. This is when shift changes, is when you stop fighting yourself, when the nervous system is regulated and the environment is regulated. And it's not just about plant medicine. It's about the context, the presence, the support, and the permission to tell the truth. And so when these patterns, when you see this pattern, when you start to see these patterns in yourself, what we just did with Charlene is the pattern was anger. Underneath there's a pattern beneath the pattern, which is I'm not heard, I'm not seen, I don't have a voice. And then we can address that issue through the power of mantra and through consistent practice. And when we start to see the pattern with compassion, not to shut it up, but when we see it with compassion, it starts to loosen on its own. And it's effortless change without self-violence, which is what we're doing to ourselves so often. So I just want to offer a simple reflection that if you're judging the pattern, that you're like judging yourself for being caught in a pattern, just realize that it's actually a sign of how you survived. It's actually a sign of how you adapted at a very difficult time. And the next step is not to change it, but to understand it. And when we see the pattern beneath the pattern, we stop trying to become someone new and we begin remembering who we've always been. I'm so grateful for this time with you, and I'm grateful that you tuned in, and I send you much